Hey guys, Jonah here, back with a beer review, and this one is kind of cool. I'm liking this one because it's, as far as I can work out, it's a single hop beer with that hop that I'm thinking is driving me mad. Citra hops. It is, of course, uh, Siren beer, and it's one of a group of beers. Is it going to focus? There we go. Siren Expressions. Citra. They've done an Idaho 7 and some other ones. It's a double dry hopped IPA, obviously from Siren, who are pretty cool. It is 5 and a bit. Yeah, there we go. 5.2. Oh, hang on a minute. 5.2, but it's called an IPA. Well, it's going to be a nice pale ale, I'm sure. Our Expressions beers are soft IPAs made to tell a story of an individual hop. Citra is the superstar of the hop world, widely adored, etc., etc. It doesn't actually say anywhere on here that it's only Citra, but I'm sure that's kind of what they're getting at. We've got wheat and oats in there. I guess that makes it the soft part. I don't know if people actually want to go soft. I want to remain rock hard, but yeah, there we go. I quite like the can art. It's quite kind of soft and mellow from the look of things, which is pretty damn cool. We have a black top. Dare I look? Yeah, silver bottom. Why, oh why? Please come out with a black can, a jet black can. That would be cool. This one has been in the fridge, and I'm opening it a bit carefully because it did, in the shop at least, it was quite taut. But now it's kind of like a lot of things, it's kind of mellowed out with a bit of age, and by a bit of age I've meant like 3 days in the fridge. So it's down to cheapy temperature. What I should really do is get a fridge, a sole beer fridge, and then I'd be able to control the temperature to, more beer temperature, so around sort of 10-ish degrees, as opposed to my fridge, which is probably hovering around 5, maybe a tiny bit less than that. But yeah, you don't need to store your beers so cold. Don't Doesn't matter too much. The only problem is the CO2 gets reabsorbed into the liquid, and I found, yeah, that it gives you that kind of CO2 burn, which is a shame. And I guess what I should really do is open the can of beer, leave it to warm up a little bit, and then pour it. But can't really do that on camera. That would be ridiculous. Right, boo, beer, glass, beer, blah, 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 all that kind of jazz. It's a big can as well. It's a 440, which is pretty damn cool. And I know this is going to be a hazy beer, so I'm going to go for a pretty full-on pour. Might leave a tiny bit left, just in case that head gets too big. I don't think it's going to. Look at that, just over a finger, maybe a finger and a quarter. That's what she said. That's a very odd colour. That is a juice colour, and obviously it's a hazy beer. Can smell it from here. Look at that, fluffy white clouds there. Now, it's double dry hop DDH IPA, even though it's not an IPA. As far as camera, I don't think BJCP. I don't think allows IPAs to be that low either. So wrong on both fronts, I think. Although I would not be surprised if they have introduced a session category to IPAs, and just I really hope Cameron never do that, because that would be opening up the world, saying yes, we're allowing it. And what they should say is, jog on, we're not allowing it, because it's ridiculous. Anyway, looking nice, this beer. Wow, That's very zesty. I am, though, getting a kind of greenness to it too, but it's like a lemon and lime, like a citrus leaf. You know, if you have a cocktail and you have some sort of leaves in the top, you're probably not going to chew on the leaf, but it imparts that kind of green, uh, I guess, sort of chlorophyll type thing. And hops are green. Um, what isn't green is the lupulin, which is the kind of hop powder, um, which if you get hops and you peel back the leaves, you get the kind of stamen. I guess it's the pollen of hops, but it's a really yellow color. In fact, it's kind of that color. So sometimes hop extracts are made from that kind of powder, lupulin powder, um, which is a bit weird. And obviously, hop matter is green. So maybe I, in the past, have been thinking Citra is a bit more green than it should be because it's been made with um, the whole hops, as opposed to these days things use extracts more potentially. Which one is correct? Do you go through the traditional hop and actually use hops, or do you go through some sort of extraction process? Is that it's still the same stuff? It's just a bit less vegetal, I guess. But I'm glad it's still there, at least on the nose anyway. Oh, the other thing is, it does smell like hop juice. I have to say, 5.5 or five, was it 5.2? It's not quite 5.5, was it? Yes, good memory there. 5.2 on ABV. Cheers and beers. Oh, by the way, if you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing. And if you're going to the Kingston upon Thames Beer Festival on Thursday, because it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I will be there on Thursday. So if you want to meet up with Unclejona, drink some beers together, talk some old toot and all that rubbish, the Kingston Beer Festival on Thursday, I will definitely see you there. Okay, so something else has also happened. Hmm. So it did say on the can that this particular beer expressions style has oats and wheat in it. So it's a new school, a New England style, a hazy IPA style. But there's quite a few oats in there, and it's giving it that creamy kind of thing. And I very much suspect that in itself is pulling back from the hop a little bit. So I do like what they're doing. Don't get me wrong. They're using, I'm sure it's a single hopped beer, but by using a conflagration, shall we say that, of malts and other adjuncts, i.e., oats and stuff, um, it's it's pulling a little bit back from the flavour and the taste of the hop. In this case, Citra. Whereas something like a smash beer, so single malt and single hop, might, and I'd say might, especially if you're using a very low, like a lagery type neutral malt, you'll forget about that flavour and all you'll do is concentrate on the hop itself. Whereas in this, the malts are playing a part in the actual taste of the beer, the flavour of the beer. Whereas it should be, as it says, the expression of the hop itself, and they're manipulating it by putting the wheat and oats in my opinion. However, if they always use the same malt bill, and it's always this malty and oaty and wheaty, um, at least you'll be able to taste the different hops as they're put into the beer. Like I say, in a scientific way of testing, you should only really try and change one variable. Because if you change too many variables, is it, oh, we've changed this and this, or is it a combination of the change of this and this that has made the difference? You see what I mean? Does that make sense? I'm not trying to confuse, um, although I can be confusing. I do know that. And have they used the same yeast? That's the other thing. Let's not even go there. Oh. Although in this particular beer, yeah, I'm not really tasting the yeast, although it is a hazy. In fact, if you're going to the Great British Beer Festival in Birmingham this year, you will see a friend of mine. Well, I've met him a couple of times. Andy Palmer, got his book as well, from Elusive Brewing, and they're the neighbours of Siren, which is why I mentioned it. And he's running a session on the trade day, actually, which is Tuesday the 5th, I think, of August. And Andy and some of the hop suppliers are doing some interesting beers by just changing the kind of yeast that's used, which is really, really interesting to me, especially. I remember seeing a presentation on thiols, must be two years ago, perhaps 3 years ago, and it was really interesting, where you only change the yeast and you have a beer that is totally different just through changing the yeast. It was mind blown. So the hops and the malt were the same, they just changed the yeast and the beer tasted different. It even looked different. Nuts. Beer is so fascinating. Cheers. Oh, so zestiness, greenness, not a really dank green grassiness. As I said, I put that down probably to the oat. Um, there is some tropicalness there, but for a double dry hopped beer, so there's a lot of hops in here, but mainly in the dry hopping, which is different again. Maybe they didn't put so much hop in at the beginning. Um, it's more mellow. It's not so hop forward. It's not so bitter. We're getting tastes and flavors which are kind of pineapple-y in my book. There is a little bit of kind of citrusy type stuff there. I mean, pineapple is a tropical fruit, so from that point of view, yeah. Um, they were talking about zestiness as well, I think. Does it say on here? No, adored for citrus grapefruit. Oh, citrus grapefruit aroma and tropical flavour. So if we're saying pineapple is a tropical fruit, yeah, I totally get that on the taste. And yes, I am getting slightly more of a grapefruitiness on the nose. So brilliant. The only thing I'm not getting is that grapefruit, the bitterness coming through in the taste of the beer itself. Um, or if I am, it's so mixed up with the oats and wheat making a kind of cream, like a milkshakey type thing. Pineapple milkshake, yes, I kind like a pina colada. Yep, I totally can get that. A grapefruit milky stuff milkshake, not getting that really, to be perfectly honest. And I don't even know if that would go very well together. it's a bit too tart, a bit too juicy. I think if you use grapefruit and sort of a milkiness, it would curdle the milk, so you'd get more sort of lemon curdy stuff, and I'm not getting that from this beer. And it could be, it should be stronger to be an IPA, even in a mellow form. I reckon 5 or 6%, 5.5 to 6, I should say. Look at that. Line there, line there, line there, line there. No problem at all with the formation of the head or the head retention. And if we have a bit of a look for kind of foam watch or head watch, weirdly, nothing's jumping out. There's a lot going on there. It looks, like always, like a kind of Mandelbrot thing of doom. There we go. That is Siren, Expressions of Citra, double dry hopped IPA at 5.2%. That is a really good beer. I did get this in the supermarket. If you like your hazy beers, you will like this. It's a little bit soft for some, including me, but and not quite alcoholic enough. Not that I'm an alcoholic or anything. No, I'm not. I swear I'm not. Although I do meet some of the criteria of being an alcoholic, not all of them. This has been, as ever, your loving Unclejona. I'm here for entertainment only while you're drinking your beer, and hopefully some of you do drink along. That would make me so happy. I have actually considered doing some live streams, and other people I know who use YouTube, very reliant on doing live streams, but pardon me. And I used to do them on Vaughan TV, long time ago, like 15 years ago. But I never got a huge audience, and I used to get hammered. I used to get absolutely hammered. Remember those days of live streaming, waiting for Craig Tube to do his stream from Canada, and I do a or a few of us did a pre-stream stream or something like that. Weird, you know what I mean. I have considered it and stuff, but I'm far too lazy at the moment. But you never know. You never know what might happen in the future. My long overdue lottery win is still long overdue. Please take care of yourselves, dear viewer. Take care of each other, and I'll be back. I'll be back with another beer review coming up real soon.